us a call. You can WhatsApp us on that as well. Let's speak to Alex next this morning. He's in Glasgow. Morning, Alex.
Morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, pleasure. What do you think?
I think that the situation, it does look hopeless, but it's definitely not. The only thing that makes it hopeless is if we trust that our governments will do all of this just by themselves without external pressure from us. Then it's most definitely hopeless. So we all need to band together and try and make the social change through activism, as history has shown has worked, because that's the only thing that we can do now.
In terms of our own behaviour and what we can do as individuals, are we doing all we can at the moment? That it's now the big, really difficult stuff that is down to business and government?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. The really big, difficult stuff is down to governments in order to put it on. Obviously, what we can do as individuals makes a difference, but the main thing we can do as individuals that make a difference is to come together and do activism, because without pressurizing the government in this way, it's just the change is not going to happen. They're too focused on their own short-term goals. They're too focused on money from their oil and gas friends. The only way that we can do this is for activism.
Yeah, just going back to this argument, and you heard it, I'm sure, earlier in the programme as well, though, we can march in Whitehall, we can march on Holyrood. You can't march on, the Chinese government or on the Kremlin and hope to make a difference in these circumstances.
Well, you can absolutely march on your own government, and that's what we all should be doing, because that does make an enormous amount of difference when there's enough people and when you do it in the right ways.
But we're a small country in terms of the contribution we make, Alex.
Well, see, I hear this a lot, but I don't. That's deflecting the blame. Like, we're still very much responsible for our own emissions, and historically, we've had some of the largest emissions in the entire world, despite being such a small country. So I think absolutely we should accept responsibility and we should try and make a difference. And let's not forget that if we switch to renewable energy, to free public transport, to better insulation, we're having our energy bills lowered, our houses are going to be warmer, public transport is going to be free, so our air is going to be cleaner. These are all really big positives. We could lead the way in the green revolution.
So
we're not doing it.
How would free public transport work for Colin down in Hoyk, who can't even get a bus to his local hospital?
Well, yeah, see, that's why we need to upgrade our public transport network more. And the easiest way to do that is to start in the cities where there's less need for cars, and then work our way outwards. And when we're not investing as much in roads and cars and petrol stations, then that actually frees up a lot of money. And over time, that actually creates a really big profit for the national government.
We don't have time, though, do we? That's what you're saying. We don't have time.
No, we don't have a lot of time, but we also don't have time to say that we don't have time, if that makes sense. We have to start with action. We have to start with something. That's the key here. We've wasted so much time already saying that, we could do this, we could do that, but now we actually have to do it. And for example, free public transport or better insulation, which, in the grand scheme of things will take a few years, but that will make an enormous amount of difference. And every half degree, as the scientist earlier said, that we can shave off does make an enormous difference. That saves millions of lives.
Alex,
that's exactly why we should be doing it.
Thanks for your call. Thanks for your time this morning. Alex in Glasgow, wherever you are, 80295. If you want to text us, pick up the phone. That's free. 08085 92 95 00 is 9:50 on a Friday. It's BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer and Sounds.
When I was young, I was ferocious.
A new documentary and podcast look at the life and career of Sir Alex Ferguson.
I think he's